Yeah, I'm not black. I don't do that shit.
So my next question for you, Dr. Tuepenz, is being fat an economic thing?
Hell no.
So you don't think economics play a part in being obesity?
I think education. And when I say education, I mean knowledge of self.
So does lower economic communities have less education than higher economic communities?
Oh, yes, most definitely. But that's not an excuse. I mean...
But I'm just saying they play hand in hand because usually lower economic communities have access to the lowest of education. Mm-hmm. And higher economic communities don't have higher access to higher education.
Right.
So that's the reason why I asked this question, because a large majority of the people we see who are obese are in the lower economic class. Although there are people who are in the higher economic class, most people you see suffering from obesity would be of lower economics.
Right, and that's so when we talk about economics, that's one thing.
I'm still hungover. Sometimes I wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Make my sandwich with the wrong side of the bread. Thought I made it by a landslide, but instead I'm still hungover. Sometimes I make the wrong phone call after dark. Sometimes I make the wrong turn, then I have to park. I know exactly how this ends, but I have to start. I still come over. I'm just living my life. I'm just living my life. I'm just living my life. I'm just living my life, and I'm not living it right, but I don't give a damn. Sometimes I wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Make my sandwich with the wrong side of the bread. Thought I made it by a landslide, but instead I'm still hungover. Sometimes I make the wrong phone call after dark. Sometimes I make the wrong turn, then I...
But economics start with education, which is the knowledge of self. You can go get what I like to call it formal education, which is going to school and things like that. But to be truly educated, you need to know about who you are as a person. If you're obese, it's obvious you've gotten far from the person you used to be. That's a direct indicator of someone being disconnected with their true self. So when I look at the economic situation and, the economics in the places where people are, the biggest and stuff like that, it's obvious the economics is like that because the people that's raising the other people don't have the right mindset to be successful and have a prosperous economic system where they live in. So they raise their kids, and we could talk about it, welfare. Those be the biggest people. You see them at Walmart. They got a damn shopping cart, look like they going Halloween trick-or-treating. Got cookies, got soda 6-packs hanging off the side of them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I ain't capping. Bruh, and I done seen it in white and black.
Dr. Pepper's hanging
off
the side of the car.
Yeah, all on the side of the cart is filled with BS food. It's
and
all
Dr.
stacked
Pepper's
in
for
there.
The kids.
For the kids. Mama got her some wine coolers. Man, she probably got some cash to get some wine coolers or something. But she got cookies, she got cakes, and it's 3 fat kids running around the cart, and they're passing on a lack of self-education because the mother is so far from herself and she's relying on the government to help her buy fatty foods.
Spending $800 in one.
You got to be out your goddamn mind. You got to be out your mind, man. Do that. Normal, that's not normal. It's not logical. That doesn't make sense.
Like normally, people don't just spend $800 in one go of grocery shopping.
But the shit they buy.
And so that leads up. So $800. So imagine $800 of that food you bought in one go. People who work jobs and don't receive social benefits, they don't spend like that.
Man, it's half of that.
In that one go, they probably spent $600 on junk food.
And they live in the projects.
And the $200 probably went on meats and stuff and a few potatoes.
What meat we talking about though?
So probably ground beef.
Yeah. Oh, the big in the plastic. Yeah. It's all
not
super bloody.
Not grass fed.
Super bloody. You cut it open.
The blood leaking off of the package.
You should get off on your hands. Like y'all tripping.
Not the grass fed ground beef. Probably a lot of pork. Probably a lot of tilapia.
Easy to cook foods.
Foods, yeah.
Hamburger helper dishes.
Lunchables.
I know they got the Lunchables.
Microwave lasagnas. Canned chili. Things like that.
But I just want to let y'all know from the bottom of my heart, anybody out here buying food like that, if you getting food stamps and you're not buying, good foods to eat, you wasting that money and you're really hurting yourself. And if you're feeding it to your children, you're hurting your children. Giving them Doritos and all the other junk, you know what I'm saying? Like you're making them, you're clogging up their arteries, their blood. That food does not promote, how can I word this? Positive blood flow through the arteries, if that makes sense to y'all.
So, okay. So now I ask this. This is based off from a lady named Brittany Cooper. She's a professor, and she I'm not sure the university, but she has a claim that you can YouTube her. Everybody out there in the YouTube world can YouTube her. I mean, Google her or YouTube her. She has a theory that obesity is racist. So now I'd like to ask you, how do you feel about that? Her claims of obesity being racist.
Sister Brittany, Miss Cooper, we love you, but you lying. And it's obvious you've been traumatized. Forgive your father, forgive your mother, return to God, and you lose all 500. You lose all 5 of them people on your back right now. Yeah.
So let me kind of give some more details to it. She claims, this is just in summary also, so you guys can look at the video yourself, which we'll probably have in a link. But so she claims that, we'll probably post some of this also, but obesity is racist towards Black people because diets do not work the same for Black women as they do for white women. Do you believe that to be true?
Nope.
What do you think the problem is there? What is lacking?
Self-control, discipline, honesty, responsibility. Where that study at? Where's the study at? So the study I found, who did this? It's from B.E. Robinson, J.G. Bacon, and J. O'Reilly. In it, I pulled a quote from the abstract, and it says, subjects completed, I'm going to read off, my handwriting kind of messed up. Subjects completed the fat phobia scale before and after a treatment approach designed to reduce their feelings of responsibility for fatness. Now, I know earlier you had mentioned that fat phobia is to help fat people, right? It's for them. So basically what fat phobia is something that's designed to reduce the way you feel about the responsibility of fatness. Fatness is a responsibility. They just told you right here. Being fat is a responsibility that you have to take. Being fat or not being fat, it's all on you. Stop blaming people. And Brittany, maybe you don't know better, but I'm going to tell you, if you get to catch this, it's all love. We love you, but what you're selling the message to the children is, no matter what you do, either the white man gonna get you, obesity gonna get you, systematic racism gonna get you. You're basically telling them not to hope and just be fat. And die.
Deal with it and be happy. Basically, the message seems like she's telling you to be happy with being fat and you should be proud of it.
That's ridiculous. You're not happy.
Which segues into another question I had. Should it be shame in being fat?
Oh, man, that's a good one. I would say, yeah. I think we should shame it like we shame anything else that isn't productive, like we shame people about being stinky.
Yeah, so I also agree because there's nothing that I can think of that's positive that comes with being fat or obese. So we should shame people, and not in a way to hurt their feelings, but a way to make them want to change. Because if we condone behaviors like that, then it will give people the idea that being this way is okay. And then we're lying to them. And real love is telling the truth and hoping to inspire positive change. And being obese is not positive change, it's negative change. And like I said previously, most people wouldn't pick that as their ideal body type. So that's how you know that it's accurate, because if someone can have their ideal body type, they're not going to pick the Nutty Professor or Bone Crusher or Biggie Smalls body type. or Lizzo body
Okay,
type.
forget Lizzo.
Even Lizzo wouldn't pick that
Her
body type.
She was trying to lose weight at one point, wasn't she?
And at one point, Monique was a girl who advocated for big girls. But
she
you
lost
see
weight
the
too.
changes that Monique made are self-evident that that's not the best body type to have.
After a while, it gets tough on your bones.
Yeah, it gets tough on your health in general. You don't want to be walking upstairs, breathing hard, having difficulties. It's just not something good for you. Like even me, I'm a smaller stature guy, and I feel like me when I gain, I can notice a difference between a 6 pound difference in my body type. Like if I gain 6 pounds 1 week, I can lose 6 pounds easily in a week also because I'm active in the gym. So if I miss the gym and gain 6 pounds in a week, I know I can get it back off the next week. But I do notice a difference in my body because I've been at a healthy size all my life. There's not been a point in my life I let myself get out of control. And I've been injured, I've been hurt, and I've been on bed rest. And at the end of the day, you have to have discipline. You know. So another thing I want to go ahead and go into before we get out of here. Is obesity high in the Black community due to being a food desert? These are things that's being said, although it sounds weird, because if you're in a food desert, that means you what? Lack food. Because the food desert is an area that has limited access to affordable and nutritious food, in contrast with an area with higher access to supermarkets or vegetable shops with fresh food. So, I ask you, Dr. Tuepenz, is obesity high in the Black community due to being in a food desert?
Hell no.
So you lived in a Black community.
Man.
Did you feel like it was a food desert?
Hell no.
Did we have a lot of grocery stores in our neighborhood?
We didn't have no grocery stores, but
you had something near, right?
I had a corner store. It had 3 different options. We could get the Kelly's Market burritos. They had the different things going.
No. Grocery stores.
Okay, we had one grocery store on 23rd.
What?
Hometown or whatever that was.
But even outside of that, how far was it to travel to a grocery store outside of that neighborhood?
Not far, because the grocery store is on 23rd. The Boffilis on 23rd.
Even else, Walmart.
Well, I don't think Walmart was around back in the day.
It was.
That. Well, not where we. About Belle Isle.
You've been there for a while.
Okay, I didn't know that, but that's another place. But I mean, I'm just saying though, we used to always go to Boffilis.
Crest.
Exactly, but we used to always go to Boffilis.
So
we catch the bus, either we driving or catching the bus. One of the two, we going to Boffilis.
On 23rd.
Yeah, right over there. You know what I'm saying?
So what's the longest? How far of that is? 10 minutes?
Yeah, really, like 10 minutes from the car.
All right, so growing up in the food desert, how far was the nearest? Because we both grew up on the east side, and that's technically in our area that's considered a food desert until recent because we have a new grocery store. But aside from that, did you ever consider it being a food desert? Like it was so difficult for you to get healthy foods?
No, I just wasn't into them.
So it wasn't a lack of, it was just like
a lack of interest.
Yeah. And do you think it was because of the grocery stores in your area or because of how you were raised?
Just really how I was raised. I wouldn't even put that on my mother. It was, I would say I put it, only I say how I was raised is because I was allowed to get away with it. My mother tried to give me good food and stuff like that. I never ate her cooking. I just wasn't into food. I just stopped caring about food after a while. You know, I just eat when I can eat, and if I don't eat, then it is what it is. But it wasn't because it was a food day. I'm like that now. Yeah, I have a refrigerator full of food. I'm still the same way. So I don't think it's a food desert. You know what I'm saying? I guess I haven't been everywhere in every ghetto, and I could assume that some areas don't have access to the freshest foods. But at the same time, you know, it doesn't mean you have to eat just anything. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean you have to settle. I think if you live in an area that doesn't have fresh foods, that somebody should have had enough sense to put together a farm for people to get fresh foods. I know almost every city in America has some type of farmer's market somewhere, and everywhere is people growing food, and it's farmer's market and people that selling fresh food. So the excuse is, you know, it's just another excuse that, you know, the blacks have adopted over the years to be out of control and not have control and not have to put the work in, the real work, to be disciplined. When that honey bun come across your thing for 50 cents, you like, damn, I got $30 on this food stamp card still. I can get another honey bun. And you really don't need that. You should get you some fresh fruit, some apples or some bananas. You know what I'm saying? Get you a salad. I started eating salads, and you may have to put some dressing on it. Get the strawberry dressing. If you got sugar addiction, get some strawberry dressing. Start with that.
So let me say this from my personal experience. I've never seen a food desert in the United States, aside from maybe those small country towns where you have to travel 45 minutes to get to a grocery store. And, you know, what those country guys and country people do, or they grow their own foods, or they have local farmers markets. And aside from that in the United States, I've only seen a food desert in third world countries. Real food deserts where you have to grow it yourself, or you have to really, really travel to find a grocery store. I haven't seen one in the United States. I've never, and I stayed in the Black community all my life. And I've traveled to many Black communities. I've been around a few, and I've never seen an actual food desert from what's claimed by definition, because whether there's a food grocery store with healthy food options 5 minutes from you, if there's not, there's one 15 minutes away.
Maybe
whether,
20.
Yeah, and whether you got to get there by bus or car, it's still possible.
But that's work, though.
Yeah, and to me, that sounds like an
Nobody wanna
excuse
do it.
not to be healthy and lack of discipline.
It's cool. Do you, but be aware of the consequences.
Okay, so in summary, let me ask Dr. Tuepenz, what do you think is a resolution for fat phobia?
First, get rid of it. Debunk it. If you're phobic of being fat and you're fat, and stop being fat. If you're a person that's fearful of someone who is fat, then you should stop fearing them, because you don't have no reason to be scared of anyone, because God loves you.
And my solution, there's no such thing as fat phobia. I don't know anyone afraid of fat people. I know people who have disagreements about how they live their life or the way they eat, but I don't know anyone that lives in fear of fat people, which is a phobia. So I think that word is loosely used and not accurate, and it doesn't really exist, because I truly know no one. I've never met a person afraid of anyone of being fat. Just because you're criticized for your weight or being obese doesn't make someone else afraid of you or hate you. So my solution would be is to stay disciplined, eat healthier, and get your life right with God, because knowing Him, it would also help you make some life changes that may be very, very necessary. There's no way to eat your life away.
Yeah, because some of y'all got people on y'all. Some of y'all was 2 or 3. Some of y'all 3 people. Like literally. So get them folk off your back.
Literally.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, subscribe, let your people know. We'll make the money ourselves.
Peace.
You fat, greasy mother. I'm gonna bleep all this out.
I know you will.
You fat, greasy motherfucker.
Hey, there we go. Buy something off the field. Yeah. Good old time ride. You know how we do. Don't play. There we go. We're gonna do something real tonight. Let's go.
I'm headed down the highway. I got a pack of brews and I'm looking for a woman to bruise.
Sing it.
I'm headed down the highway. I got a pack of brews and I'm looking for a woman to bruise.
Okay.
I'm headed down the highway. I got a pack of brews and I'm looking for a woman to bruise. Well, what do you know? It's a toxic man.
Hey.
Doing all the toxic things I can.
Yeah.
I take my hands and I put it in my pants.
Watch
And
me.
I make me some ego toxic
Just
plans. I use my words to hurt your feelings. And I don't give a damn about your goddamn children. I'm headed down the highway. I got a pack of brews and I'm looking for a woman to
Hey,
bruise.
y'all gonna sing this
I'm
one.
headed down the highway. I got a pack of brews and I'm looking for a woman to
Get off the wall and get on the
I'm
field.
headed down the highway. I got a pack of brews and I'm looking for a woman to bruise.
There you have it. I just want y'all to know, the only thing sicker than the corona is my flow. way, I don't play. Not today, nor any day for that matter. But this song here is just a joke. We don't believe in domestic violence. If you have a good woman in your life, keep her close to you, love her like the good Lord would have you, and treat her right. Don't treat her like trash. Cause there's some motherfucker like Bronson Chili gonna come up and take her from you. Yeah. Let the beat ride out. Make you wanna head down the highway, child support. Make you wanna bruise a woman, bring it up, head down.
Sandwich with the wrong side of the bread. Thought I made it by a landslide, but instead I'm still hungover. Sometimes I make the wrong phone call after dark. Sometimes I make the wrong turn, then I have to pause. I know exactly how this ends, but I have